Go. Getting fuel. All right, welcome. How's it going, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Today's topic is hole drills. So whether you've seen them from our website or from us or from other demos or in Sika, there's a lot of reasons why you want to put a hole in a pot. And so I will share with you today how to do that, how to use our hole drills, and just a few little tips when you're doing it. I've got a little cup here. It got broken in the kiln. Basically, this is something you might consider throwing out or repurposing into something else. It would make a really good little succulent planter or something. And a lot of people think, oh, you want to put a hole in something that's going to be a planter. It's not always about planters. So there are a lot of reasons you may want to put a hole in something, whether you're turning it into a lamp or you want like a little water spigot for like a lemonade jar coming out of it. So we have a whole bunch of different sizes. We have everything from a 3mm. So hold that up. So this is a 3mm hole drill, all the way up to a 100mm hole drill. And this is huge. That's going to be a rare scenario. Everything from 3 to a 25mm, we have every millimeter. And so we do get a lot of folks asking for very specific sizes, depending on what they're going to use it for. After 25mm, we go every 5mm or so. So basically, we have almost any size you could want. All of these, you got to use them with water. The biggest thing that I'll be doing is a lot of the time, if I use it at home, I might put it under a hose or something just to have water running over it. They all fit into a cordless drill, so I recommend using that. But in a scenario like this, and I kind of picked this cup because of this, is maybe you don't have water with you right here. So one little trick that we've kind of told people about here is take a little wadding of clay, and you're just gonna kind of make like a little dam going around where you're gonna put the hole. And so in a perfect world, I might put this under a sink, but in this case, I want to put a hole right in the middle, and I want to make sure there's plenty of water. So it's really important you keep these wet. So I'm gonna just form this into a little moat. We'll make sure it's watertight. There we go. So now I have a little volcano, a little bit of water there. That's really the best way to do it, is to make sure that the actual diamond part of the hole drill is fully submerged the whole time. If you're not able to do this, sometimes even like the foot ring of the piece itself will hold water. If you're not able to do this, definitely have water dripping on it or running on it. At the very least, be sponging on it as much as you can. So you're gonna be on a drill setting, you're in here. The next tricky part is kind of getting it started. And so if you've ever tried to start to drill something and you get the bit, it starts moving around on you. It helps to kind of start at a little bit of an angle. And so I'm just gonna put the edge of this right where I want it. I'm gonna go slowly at an angle until I can feel it kind of catch. And the tricky part is if it wants to move around on you. So I'll stop there just to show you. So once you get it caught, you're gonna feel it kind of start to sink in. Pour this out for now, and this is what I have going. And normally I wouldn't do this, but just for the purposes of showing you, that's the hole that I got started. So now that it's in there, it's you're going to be pretty safe to put some more pressure on. So we'll fill that back up, and then now we can really go. So I'm going to continue drilling all the way through and make sure I'm I'm gonna make these small little circles. So one tricky thing is as you're pushing, you don't want to put too much pressure. You know, we kind of say let the diamonds do the work. Do many little circles, and that sort of helps open up that groove that it's cutting, and that way you don't get the bit binded in there or anything. So you'll see me do that. Just like that. So then dump that water out. And now you got a clean hole right in the bottom. And that goes through the other side. So that's kind of all it takes is you're just going slow. I really didn't have a whole lot of pressure there. And then you can pull this little clay ring off, and now you've got a good little hole in there. If you wanted to, you could do a few more, some smaller ones. That's really all there is to it. So it's just a matter of kind of going slow at first at the right angle, you get it started. But you can drill through anything, so even up to cone 10, it is a diamond bit. So the next little thing that I want to point out on this is you may notice, like, but where did the core go? So when you're using a hole drill like this, and what's interesting is we've gotten a couple requests, and I've actually talked to a number of customers that they're more interested in the inner diameter of the hole drill. So you'll see the actual core that I cut out is still in there. So we do have customers that make all sorts of jewelry and small little trinkets. They actually will cut pieces out of, you know, whether it's glazeware or glass or stone or rock, they use the core. And on these smaller sizes, it might get stuck in there. So what's important is before you go drill out a bunch of other holes, these are hollow. So you want to make sure you poke that out of there. And this is actually a pretty small, I might be able to use this. Gotta find the right small little pokey thing to get it out. I don't have a shish kebab with me. Let's see, do we have any long pokey things? So all I'll do, we'll find the right tool for it. Any little stick will do, but you just want to poke in through the top, and that'll pop that core out. And that is actually, it's like a little disc, you know, that's what you actually cut out of here. And so a lot of folks will use that and turn it into jewelry. Oh, that'll work, yeah. Thanks, Jamie. Let's see if this can do anything. It's coming. So what I've seen is what gets to be a problem is if you forget to poke this out, then when you go to drill another hole, there's nowhere that core can go, so it'll get stuck in there. There we go. All right, so that's the little bit that you get out of there. So in this case, it's very small, but if you're someone that likes to make little circles, or I've even seen people do this with, they want to make a ring, so they'll cut a middle hole and then go in, let's say, they'll use two different sizes. They'll cut a middle hole out, come in over the top with a little bit larger hole drill, and you end up with an actual like ring shape. In this case, it could just be like a little earring or something. And you can imagine if you do this with you get some nice glaze on the bottom, or a nice piece of tile. You can make some neat little ornaments. So keep that in mind. Definitely want to make sure you poke that out. On the small hole drills, you are still going to get something in there. These are really reliable. They're going to last you a long time, especially if you're just drilling a hole now and then. The only one I've seen have issues with is the 3mm, because it's so small. You really got to make sure you poke out that little core in there so it doesn't get jammed. Everything else, you know, I've seen folks use the 100mm to drill through the side of a boat or something. So there's a lot you can do with them. And most importantly, maybe you can salvage a piece that you didn't know what to do with and turn it into a cool planter or a fountain, or like I said in the beginning, if you have a big vase, you could put a hole in the side and put a faucet on it. So there's a lot of reasons to use hole drills. The last thing I'll leave you with is we do have some micro hole drills, we call them. They're very small. They actually go in a Dremel, not a drill. And the same sort of theory applies, where you want a lot of water, high speed, really go gentle, slowly in a tiny little circle. But these guys, they will drill a hole through like a little salt shaker, or if you have like an earring or a piece of jewelry where glaze has filled in like the little hole for a wire, you can drill it out with these. Or just make a bunch of tiny little holes in something. So keep that in mind. We try to have a little bit of a solution for any kind of problem you may have. So anyway, I think that is it for the hole drills. Hopefully you enjoyed kind of seeing what it is. It's just that easy. So if you got to put a hole in something, salvage something, get a hole drill, and that's kind of all you need. So anyway, thanks for joining. We got some new stuff coming out later this week, so stay tuned if you want to see some new tools. Otherwise, thanks for joining. We'll see you next week.